And some advocacy groups are now criticizing YouTube. They say the site is illegally collecting data about underage viewers, and they have filed a complaint with U.S. officials. YouTube says kids under 13 can't sign up for its service, but research shows some 45% of kids between the ages of 8 and 12 have their own account. Our tech and business correspondent Samuel Burke joins us now with more on the story. And Samuel, wow, I mean, several groups here making serious charges about YouTube and how it collects data from kids. Can you walk us through the claims and tell us more about how YouTube is responding?
Christy, you have 20 different groups that represent consumer interests, children's interests, privacy interests, saying that YouTube has been collecting this information about kids for years. Now, it's no surprise to any parents that a lot of kids are using YouTube, but what could be a surprise is people not realizing that YouTube could be profiting off of this information. What this complaint alleges that they filed with the Federal Trade Commission, which is also the group that's going to be looking at Facebook, is that inadvertently they may be picking up the data when kids log in using their parents' account or no account whatsoever. Yes, you need to be 13 or older to have an account, but how many times have you logged into YouTube with no account whatsoever? So they're picking up information about the parents, but also picking up information about the children. You may think that there's no harm here, but we've spoken to experts here in Israel who have been telling me, look, a lot of times a company can distinguish between when a parent is using something and when a kid is using something just based on the content that they're clicking on. So it could be of big benefit to YouTube. So what these companies, or rather these advocacy groups, are really saying here is they're not trying to make it so there's no kids content on YouTube. They just want Facebook and Google and all of these companies to be able to distinguish between the parents' data and the kids' data, and then make sure that when they're using the kids' data, because of the Child Online Privacy Protection Act in the United States, that they really don't use that data. They focus on their parents' data. I just want to put up on the screen what Google said in response to this complaint, which has just been filed. Google, which owns YouTube, saying the following, quote, "Protecting kids and families has always been a top priority for us. We will read the complaint thoroughly and evaluate if there are things we can do to improve." I think every tech company is doing this now, Christy. I'm here in Israel, known as the Startup Nation. I've been speaking to CEOs of tech companies, many different fields, all week long. And what they've been telling me is that whether it's Facebook and data or the death that we saw from the self-driving Uber car in Arizona, this is a wake-up time right now for the tech industry. The dip that we've seen in tech stock prices, most of the CEOs think the stocks will go back up. But they say that this is a time where they realize that people are reevaluating their relationships with the tech companies that run their lives, many would argue, and they realize that they are going